Hello everyone, Paul Rogers here. Today is January the 30th, 2018. And I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the markets. There's been a lot of FUD regarding Tether. And I want to look at things from a technical standpoint and also give a little commentary on my take on Tether and the situation. Now, first off, I made a video not too long ago, maybe 18 hours ago or so, looking at this trend channel that I drew with the Ethereum US dollar. This is the 4-hour chart. And I predicted that Ethereum would most likely hit this trend channel and we'd end up having kind of a long tail, like so or like so, but that price would most likely hold up and then head higher. As of right now, we've hit the support of the trend channel, and it does look like price is going to hold. It's going to take a little bit longer to confirm all this, but so far I think things are looking okay. If we look at Bitcoin should actually go down a little bit further before it hits the support on its trend channel. I would expect Bitcoin to break $9,000 in order to really hit a strong level of support. So what's causing all this? Well, recently Bloomberg came out with an article saying that the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, has subpoenaed. They subpoenaed Tether and Bitfinex. And I'm assuming they're going to ask them some questions about all the rumors that have been floating around regarding Tether. People are speculating that Tether does not have all the money in US dollar reserves that they say they do. Now, some other interesting news is the people that were auditing Tether and actually verifying that there was money set aside so that $1 US Tether was backed up by $1 US in some bank somewhere that could be redeemed for it, right? They parted ties. The relationship has been dissolved. And the last time they actually made a report, I believe, was in September. And they audited based on what Tether was actually stating. I don't think they actually verified that the money was there by contacting the financial institutions that had the money, meaning that they weren't going and knocking on banks' doors saying, hey, does this account have this amount of money, and verifying it. I believe they were just going based on Tether's records. So I would say most likely that in September Tether was just fine and dandy and didn't have anything to hide, but price action's done a lot since September. So it is possible that Tether isn't fully backed by US dollars. There's a whole bunch of people there's so many opinions on Reddit and just people floating all these comments around that Tether made $850 million, I think, this year into circulation or something like that. And it's getting kind of wild. Clearly, the market is overexposed to Tether. No question. There's no question the market is overexposed to this concept of US dollar, a pegged US dollar cryptocurrency. Now, there are other options besides Tether, but the market's not really using them. I've been talking about BitShares for a long time and BitAssets. And a BitAsset is BitShares has a way to back up, to create basically a superior version of Tether, like Bit US dollar or Bit Chinese yuan or Bit euro. They offer all those things on the on BitShares platform and on some exchanges. Some exchanges actually do offer BitAssets. But in comparison to Tether, it's drop in the bucket. Everybody uses Tether. That's kind of like the popular thing, but now it's endangering the entire crypto market. And it's creating a whole bunch of fear and a lot of uncertainty in this entire market. I don't know how long the problem is nobody knows how long it's going to last. The longer this uncertainty about Tether lasts, the harder it will be for cryptocurrencies to actually go bullish. Now, Ethereum is on a bullish uptrend, but that bullish uptrend could be stopped in its tracks if all this Tether business keeps going on. It's frustrating. If we have something that works just fine, like a bid asset that's everything's backed 100% with a bid asset, the bit US dollars, and I think that's why BitShares isn't actually suffering that much. I'm looking at the market cap, and BitShares the price is held up very well compared to other cryptocurrencies, and I think it's because of their alternative to Tether, the bit US dollar. So clearly, I mean, what is the cryptosphere is in a place of development. We're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving, and we need to constantly improve. And it seems like Tether was just more or less accepted by most people in exchanges as something that works and that can be used. But it's kind of like a crutch that we've been using too much without even thinking if it actually works. So now is the day of reckoning for Tether. We're going to find out over the next week or two, most likely, if Tether is legit and if they are fully backing up their currency. Most likely, I'd imagine what will happen is they'll find out that their Tether is not completely backed up in US dollars, meaning that maybe I have to see how many Tether exist, but maybe it's going to be a fractional reserve system in one way or another, I think, which means that it's not fully backed up in US dollars. I don't know what that will mean. Once the numbers are released and there's some light on the situation, I imagine the market, as long as it's not horrible news, I imagine the market will rebound because there won't be that uncertainty existing anymore, which is positive. But I mean, if it's an entire scam, like there's US dollar Tether is just not backed up by US dollars at all, or very little, I'd imagine there's going to be a hell of a lot of volatility. I can say that much without question. Hell of a lot of volatility. I do not think the cryptocurrency market will crash 80% like some articles are saying. I think that we'll probably have probably a 30 to 40% correction, and then once an alternative solution is presented to US dollar Tether, I'm pretty sure the markets will rebound very quickly. If that's like a worst case scenario. I don't think it's going to be like the end of cryptocurrencies just because Tether isn't fully legitimate. Most likely, I think the market's going to be kind of down until there's some clarity to the situation. Once there is clarity to the situation, I do think the markets will rebound. It seems like we've just been going from one negative topic to another with cryptocurrencies. One piece of FUD one day, and then a new piece of FUD the next day. It wears down on you a little bit, but you have to kind of keep a strong hand and think long term. And that's the key with cryptocurrencies. Think long term. All this is part of developing this, maturing the crypto market in general. So, this sort of thing had to happen with Tether. It probably should have happened a long time ago, but yeah, we have to deal with it now, I guess. So, I guess it's better than a year or two from now when the crypto market's even larger. So, anyhow, just giving you guys my thoughts on this. I do not recommend putting money into Tether until things are clear what exactly is going on. If you do want to go to US dollars, I'm recommending finding a broker that actually offers true US dollars, not US dollar Tether, or using BitShares and using a bit asset like BIT to USD. That's fine because that's actually backed up 100%. The reserves are 100% for bit assets. So congratulations BitShares for doing something that's functional that people can actually use. And Tether, you know what? Even with best case scenario, you should have had all of this sorted out and free for the public to look at a long time ago. So at best case scenario, you still messed up with not being as transparent as you should be. And if you have been lying and what you're promising on your website doesn't match up to the reality of things, then I guess you'll be going to jail because that's fraud. So anyhow, go ahead and give a thumbs up and leave a couple comments and I'll make sure to respond. Paul Rogers out.